I'm Rab Lewis. I played outside right for Irvine Meadow from 1971 to 74. Oh, it was incredible. I mean, we're the last Meadow team to win the Scottish Cup, you know, and that's 50 years ago. You know, so when we won it, the Meadow team 10 years before that had won it. So, I mean, it wasn't such a big shock for us to win it. But for 50 years, you know, it just hasn't happened. You know, I mean, they've done great playing Hibs and the league and stuff like that, you know, the Scottish Cup. But it was a different time then. You know, in 71 when I arrived, there was a team, and then in 72, there was only 4 years left for the previous year. You know, it was 8 new players. You know, and it took a wee while to blend in, kind of thing. But then when we started going, I mean, we were just unbeatable. You know, in the league especially. I mean, we lost one game. I think we drew one game, and that was it. But I mean, in the Scottish Cup, we played 13 games. You know, there was 2 triple replays. You know, we could have been out easily. You know, but our luck just kept holding. You know. Oh, incredible! I mean, it's every junior's dream. You know, to get as far as that in the Scottish Cup. You know, I mean, you're playing in front of 40, 50,000 people, which you don't normally do that. You know, not at the level we were at.
Does it affect your game when you're performing in front of that many?
Oh yeah, if you let it. Yeah, if you let it. But luckily we had some very good players that never let it. You know, we had experience with Hugh O'Brien, Adam McLaughlin, Big Charlie at centre half. You know, we had Eric Morris in the wing, Mike Gillespie centre, Alan Johnson inside right. I mean, there's 3 men that could score anywhere. You know, and the 3 of them went senior that year. And Eric went to Rangers. He was there for 7 years. Then he went to Ayr United, and he was there for another, I don't know how many years. You know, so he was a real good senior player, and so was Alan. Alan played with Morton, signed for Morton. Then he went to South Africa. He came back from there, played with Brøndby in Denmark, and then settled down and just started playing with the Meadow again. And then he became the manager, you know, and they won the league when he was the manager. You know, and I think they get beat in the semi-final when Alan was the manager. I mean, they were really good players. You'll not remember this, but there used to be another Meadow club, you know, where the Ritz used to be. You'll not remember the Ritz either. Down where the chapel, you know where the chapel is? Aye. And is that East Road or West Road, one of the two? It was next to there. It was McQuillan that owned it, and it was open Friday, Saturdays, Sundays, and we were always there after the match on a Saturday, you know, and everybody went. You know, wives and wags as they call them now. It was a real social club, you know, and you could see that on the field, you know, that everybody was fighting for one another. We were never beat, if you know what I mean. There was no egos, even although some of the players had been senior before. There was no egos. They didn't think they were any better than anybody else, you know, and that makes a good team. You know, especially at that level. You know, I mean, you're no good enough to play senior, but you're better than amateur. It's a funny situation to be in. Oh, I'm biased. You know, I'm totally biased. I've seen games here that I just thought were shocking, you know, really bad. People that can't trap the ball, and people, you know, and not just Meadow. I'm not talking about Meadow, I'm talking about 22 players, you know, and we couldn't have been as bad as that. You know, we couldn't have been. We wouldn't have won anything if we were as bad as that. Cambuslang were the big team at that time, and we played them 3 times, 3 different competitions. We played them in the Driver Cup, we beat them. We played them in the West of Scotland Cup final. They beat us 4-1 easily, and we beat them in the Scottish Cup after 3 games. They were going for 3 in a row, which had never been heard of. You know, but they were a real good team as well. Oh, no. See, my dad played in the late 40s for the Meadow before he went senior. You know, so I've basically been involved with the Meadow all my life. You know, it's always been an institution, the Meadow. You know, and there's a bit of rivalry with the Vics, but I'm biased. You know, I'm totally biased. Well, I was born in 52, and he was senior by then. He played with Lanark. He went to Morton first, then he played with Lanark, who are defunct now. But he played 12 years as a senior, you know. But at that time, the contracts were like slavery. You know, the club held everything, you know. You couldn't leave, you couldn't do anything, you know. Whereas now, they can play for a couple of weeks and earn £500,000. At that time, the football players were no better paid than the average journeyman. You know, when my father finished after 12 years senior, he had to get a job. You know, and that was the same with most people. You know, it's a completely different thing now, you know. Whether it's any better, I don't know. I preferred my day, you know, and I've not seen anything in the last few years to change my mind. You know, I mean, there's still some good players, but you need a team of good players. You know, 1 or 2 is no use, you know. Oh, absolutely, fantastic. I mean, I don't think the competition is the same as it used to be, but it's still called the Scottish Cup, you know, so in theory, it would be the same trophy, you know. Well, I would be delighted, you know. Somebody else would be a legend then, you know. not just that team. I dearly love to see them winning things and get the crowds back. See, when I played, I mean, there was 7,000 or 8,000 at a home game here. Now you'd be lucky to get 500. You know, it's just a different. I mean, everything's different. There was no like social media at that time. You know, there was no PlayStations. You know. The thing was, you went to the on a Saturday. Yeah. Now, it just didn't happen. But I mean, Eric, he'll have a different view on it because he moved up a grade. Eric went to senior and played senior for about 15 years, you know. So he's probably the best man to talk about the better side, you know, junior players, because he was he was player of the year, junior player of the year. He get capped. Alan Johnson get capped at an amateur level. You know, so they were good players. And I was just lucky to be in the same team, really, you know. I mean, if you're going to play 13 games to win a trophy, you need a lot of players, you know what I mean? And I can't imagine any other team will have played 13 games to win the Scottish Cup. You know, it just seemed to be Scottish Cup, replay, you know, which was great when you were travelling away. But it's just changed. It's just changed so much.